Like the video and subscribe!
Helps me come out with more content like this for you guys. Alright, no dilly-dallying. So, today we are going to be talking about the gem grind from this event. Within the past 24 hours, we basically saw absolutely everything that I was able to obtain from the chests. But, I also noticed that my gem count dramatically went up when I had spent 500 million gems at some point, and I was almost at 4 billion. So, for this to actually work, keep in mind that you do need to have your loot all the way maxed out on the chests. That way, just in case, if you never know if it's affiliated with the chests itself and the loot that you get inside of it, this pretty much ensures the maximum amount that you're able to get from the chest itself. Now we're going to go ahead and put the Titanics aside, and we're going to go ahead and put the huge pets that you can get inside of this aside. Obviously, if you haven't seen that video, you guys can go ahead and click on this little thing right here, or check out my channel and see the most recent video. I basically showcase absolutely everything I was able to get from the chests and the loadouts that I use for my current team. And there's some tests that I did with some actual baby pets, so you guys can actually see the time versus my own team. Obviously, as you guys are currently watching, I started out with 0 gems during this run. Progressively, as you're noticing, I am getting some gems from this. It's not a dramatic amount, but over time, this will go up to the millions and the hundreds of millions. So let's go ahead and start opening up the main chests, and these are the most important ones. Obviously, I ran out of the leprechaun key stuff, so we're not going to go ahead and open those. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pick up some eventually. There, and we're breaking the boss chest, and we're going to go ahead and repeat this process over and over again. To go ahead and do, this is basically what I was able to obtain over, I'd say, a good 15 hours or so. We'll estimate around that, and it's probably an exaggerated amount, but I am going to go ahead and transfer these gems to have an open slate, and I'm going to go ahead and start transferring some items, absolutely everything that I don't use, so we can see in a span of a certain amount of time and see what we get at the very end. I've absolutely transferred every single thing humanly possible from absolutely everything. I tried my absolute best to basically get everything, so we're gonna ignore the little gift bags and this random mega potion thingy because I ended up getting it from one of the chests just recently. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the raids here in a second. I'm gonna try to avoid as much of these breakables as possible, and we're gonna go ahead and start doing this. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the enchants again just to make sure I have everything ready to go, and I am ready to go. All right, so this is like the best way to like get both of best worlds is what I was explaining yesterday. Like, you can gain levels and you can do like pretty much anything that you want during this event. You can gem grind, you can try to get some huge pets, or you could even try to get a Titanic. At 210,000 gems. So yes, we're gonna have to continue to keep going. Obviously, the more that you do of this, just basically going AFK or just doing whatever. It doesn't matter if you're trying to like gain levels to get on the leaderboard or whatever your heart's desire, basically. As long as you're utilizing absolutely everything as humanly possible during this event, it's definitely worth it. I have heard that they might have fixed the chances to basically level out how quickly you're able to level up and break things, and chances might have been changed for the chests, so everything is basically evened out. I also went to the trade hub and bought a couple of these to basically see what I get out of them, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the very end. I almost clicked that by accident. I have a habit of accidentally clicking this before making it into a little rainbow chest. So once this is done, we'll go ahead and exit and basically take a look at absolutely everything that we were able to obtain during this raid. Remember, keep in mind, I'm gonna ignore the gift bags because I did not pay attention to those, and I don't feel like transferring them to my ult account, so we're gonna go ahead and continue to break this. Okay, so now that that is broken, let's go ahead and take a look at the stuff that we got. So I got some fruits. We're gonna go ahead and ignore these and the gift bags, clearly. So doesn't look like I got anything set aside from that. So, okay, next are the enchants. So these are the enchants that I ended up getting out of this. The potions that I ended up getting out of this, which is pretty nice if we're able to get a ton of these because making those are a pain. And we ended out with almost just under 2 million gems. So let's go ahead and auto raid this real quick and repeat that process again. Is completed out. I just basically did auto raid until I got to a certain point, and I'm gonna go ahead and actually just start opening these up. I kind of like doing this stuff in reverse for some odd reason. I don't know why. So it looks like I got 435,000 from that chest alone. And let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. Okay, where's it at? There it is. Oh my gosh. See, this is what I'm talking about. I miss absolutely everything that's important. So the next one, I ended up getting 440,000. So that's what? 800? We'll say a million gems. We'll say a million. We'll estimate a little higher. So now we're at 3.32 million gems. And let's go ahead and start opening these up. Oh, they already opened up. Never mind. Use a little leprechaun thing. How many we get out of that? 155,000 gems, which is pretty nice. And let's go ahead and open the big one up and see what we get out of this one. What's also really nice too is if you're in here with huge pets or whatever it may be, if they have like Overlord charm or whatever, if you have charms on them that give you gems on top of what you're doing right now currently, this also helps greatly too, especially glittering. All right, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, and let's see what we get out of this. I got 360,000 gems. So not as much as I thought it would, but you know what? I'll still take it. So we're gonna go ahead and do auto raid again and let it do its thing. Okie dokie, so I am in the next portion of this new raid. Obviously, I went through all the rooms, and right now I am sitting at 5 million basically. I turned the chest on to basically be heroic again, and we're gonna go ahead and break it. Now, what I do notice is all these numbers that come out of the chest for gems, they're completely random. I think the last one that I got was 180,000 versus the 200 or so that I ended up getting. So remember, you're not gonna be getting consistent amount of gems all the time. So just want to throw that out there just in case if people are wondering. We're also going to do something else that I know some people might question this as well, and that's using gem books. Okay, so this one gave me 230,000, which is cool. And this is a really good question because it bears the question of, okay, well, if you're using gem books when you're breaking the chests, will it technically give you more? So we're going to go ahead and test this out as well. The realization of myself that I accidentally might have transferred my gem books and all of the other important things that I was supposed to do for testing on my alt account. So now I have to transfer those to this account and do this all over again. We're smart! So there's a few tests that I'm going to go ahead and run on this. Obviously, since we are inside of here, we do have the boost exchange machine thing. Now we're going to go ahead and turn this on, and we're going to go ahead and start putting in our previous books that we had before, but we're also going to include 2 additional ones that are completely different. So the current ones that I am going to be running are 2 Diamond X, my Criticals X, but I also had the chance to finally add an additional pet in here. So I'm going to throw another Titanic in here to kind of combat what we're losing out of this, and that's the strong pets. Granted, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but let's go ahead and start paying attention to the gem count real quick. All right, so let's go. Heroic chest number 500. So that's 160,000 gems. All right, so if the gem books are supposedly supposed to work naturally, right, then this would have activated and it would have been a higher count. So for everybody that's kind of wondering out there if you can use these or if the loot books like the treasure hunter books actually do work, you have to remember at the very end of the day, whatever your upgrades give you inside of the machine on the outside, that's basically what you're going to focus on. These should not be used inside of the event at all, especially if you are missing space. So 285,000, that's about the same amount that we were getting previously. And let's see if there's any gems that come out of these specifically. So no, they don't. These came out of my pets. So here's box number 1, 170,000. Box number 2, 110,000. Box number 3, 95,000. And we'll go ahead and open this one. And 185,000. And our next one, which is 120,000. Now we're going to go ahead and open this one. All right, this might take a second because I did remove some books. It shouldn't be too dramatic. Obviously, clearly, as you guys are watching right now, I took out 2 or 3 books? 2 books. And I'm still chilling. I'm still doing fine. So whatever compensation is kind of kicking in because I took out 2 books is it's okay. All right, finally 230,000 gems. So it's safe to say gem books and even loot books are not going to benefit you in the long run, especially if you're doing raids. So no, you don't need these. And to be quite honest, I probably don't need super magnet, but you know, I just want to make sure because sometimes when I move around, sometimes orbs might fly around and they stick somewhere. This is just a pillow for myself and it's not necessary for anybody. So here comes the important test. This is going to see how long I am able to technically earn a huge pet just by turning on auto grind. Now, this is going to only depend on the chests that we're seeing in the first room and none of the boss chests. At the very end of the day, realistically, not everybody's going to constantly sit here and automatically do this themselves. I've got a busy life, okay? I've got to do some other stuff. So, you know, obviously if there's moms, dads, parents, children, anybody who's just going AFK and they're just like, man, I just want to earn a huge pet just by doing nothing, this is basically the method right now. So, all my gems have been transferred over to my ult account. Let's go ahead and get started. The quicker that you're able to break these, the better. And that is the biggest thing. The faster you can break these, the better results you're going to have at the very end of the day. So, let's go ahead and time this. So I finally finished and I looked at the footage, I went back, it took about 37 minutes. We'll round it off and say about 40 minutes. Now this is based on how quickly I am able to break it. I'm not sure if raid level influences how much you're able to make, but I do know that the loot section is 100% needed for this. This means technically if I were to go and try to figure out which huge I wanted to go ahead and buy, take a look at this little chart right here. Now technically we can go out into the trade hub and buy a huge party corgi or a huge scarecrow dog or even some of the new huge pets from this event. This is really good. This is technically, I would say, a huge per hour, just gem wise. So going back to the footage of the 40 minutes that it took me to get to 20 million gems, I didn't realize that I also hatched a huge on top of it. So I like to think of it as this. If I am able to earn a ton of gems while on top of it having a chance of getting a huge pet, I think that's just like a added bonus on top of it. So long as I'm earning gems passively, this is just a little bit of a bonus. Also, keep this in mind as well. We haven't even gone through like all the loot that I ended up getting. So obviously we have a ton of new potions. We have new enchants. Granted, this may not be a big deal for absolutely anybody for whatever reason. We're at a point where we have thousands of these. So, I mean, honestly, it's not that big of a deal, right? But if you're a player that's just basically starting out, this is a really good method in order to just basically get a ton of these. I could imagine if somebody were to sit here trying to compete inside of the leaderboard system, how many gems that they're able to earn just by doing this alone. And this also includes maybe perhaps doing the entire like boss chests and stuff, because this is how you get more points, more levels, stuff like that. This also adds a ton of new opportunities for absolutely everybody. Granted, again, you have to make sure that your loot and everything is as high as it can quite possibly be. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to dedicate all your points into experience points, but it does help to know that you never know if it might influence it, right? If you're a level 20,000 or 15,000, this might be a thing, though I'm not 100% sure, so I can't really technically speak on that all that much. But what I do know is I could technically just walk away for an hour, basically, and earn a huge just by gems. Okay, wait, I gotta not do that. I gotta like go over here and actually activate it. Like, this is giving me so many gems that it's like I'm not even pressed about like, oh my gosh, I'm so poor right now, obviously. But if you're able to earn like at least 600 million, almost a billion gems, depending on what you get from the event, and this is including the huges and all the loot and all the gems added all together, you could quite possibly make a billion gems every single day. All right, so it looks like we beat up that chest and now we can go back home. So hopefully this gives you guys a better insight on just gem making. And I know yesterday I wanted to make this separated from this video and the previous video. This is just purely auto grinding for an hour. 40 minutes, an hour, 20 minutes difference doesn't make a difference to me. So 40 minutes earns you a huge, so long as you're able to break through these areas as fast as possible and you're able to collect things. It's an added bonus if you get a huge, and obviously it's a jumbo jackpot if you were to get a Titanic. Again, hopefully you guys found this video a little informal and helpful. If you like this type of content, make sure you guys leave a like and make sure you subscribe to my channel, as it does help me out come out with more content like this for you guys. And until then, I will see you guys all in the next video.
Okay, bye.
It's 2025, I'm stuck in a box, Pet Simulator 99, don't fix this, cause we're stuck in a box. We're trying to get out and get some gems and be rich, and then get some huge pets. I'm stuck in the box, I got no social life, cause I'm stuck in the box. Trying to get some gems, I need 1 billion gems, I'm stuck in the box. 2025!